Okay, testing. I'm gonna try to look at the camera, the lens, and not that one. I have about 12 minutes until I have to go on to my next client, so I want to do a little story time. But, hello, my name is Teresa Dacio. Oop. I'll turn this off. I'll silence this. This is my first time making a YouTube. I have wanted to make a YouTube for so long, and I just was waiting for, you know, the perfect lighting, the perfect hair day, the perfect whatever, and I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna start vlogging my everyday life, and I have something super exciting happening, so I thought I would just do a like 2-week daily vlog where I walk you guys through it with me. And it's kind of fun because it's kind of like an online diary for me to be able to look back and see like how I did this, all the emotions leading up to it, and just everything, because our life is about to change. So, okay, a little bit about me. I am 29. I'm going to be turning 30 in March. My husband and I got married at the end of 2019, so right before the pandemic and everything. We have been happily married now since then. We're, you know, we just had our 3rd-year anniversary. We're going into our 4th year. Two best friends, my maid of honor and my matron of honor, literally have both had kids. My matron of honor is on to her 2nd. And we've just been talking about kids for a while. We are not ready to have kids yet, but a dog is something that we have always wanted to get. We always felt like this was going to be like the first step. And so we started talking. We finally moved out to our own place after 3 years of marriage. Just COVID was a lot, you know. We were living with roommates for the first 3 years, so I moved in with Miles after we got married, and he was living with roommates already. There were 2 at the time, and then, you know, there was a lockdown. There was the 4 of us in the house together. It honestly just was a huge blessing to be able to live with roommates, to be able to share rent with other people. And during that time, we wanted a puppy already. Our downstairs roommate had a dog. He was older. He I feel like he's like 11 or 12 years old, but he was older. He was like a really small, oh, this is so bad, I don't even know the breed. I want to say like a Shih Tzu. Like, it was tiny. It was like an 8-pound dog. It was tiny dog, and he was deaf, and so he didn't bark or anything. Like, he was super quiet. Sometimes I would literally forget he was in the house because he was so tiny, but he was a cute little fluff ball and would hang out with us at dinner and things like that. So then fast forward to 2021, we started looking for our own place, but with me still being in grad school, Miles still, you know, really new at his new job, we just were like, okay, we're just gonna stay here for another year. So end of 2021, our downstairs roommate moved out during that time, so we rented that downstairs as an office. I have these fun little cups that like change color whenever they get cold. I think they're supposed to actually be for baby showers, like it's a girl or it's a boy, but we just have the pink one. A brand sent it over, and so they're reusable cups. I like them. So anyways, tangent. Where was I? 2021, it was just the 3 of us. And everything was pretty good. We were starting to like kind of like loosely look at other apartments, homes. We kind of, you know, thought about buying, you know, just for like a quick second before the realistic house market just crumbled down on us, and we were like, okay, that's probably going to take a while. If, you know, God willing, we do get a house someday, it's going to be down the line. And so it's probably gonna be an apartment first or a townhome or something. And so we ended up staying there and keep continuing to look until I would say spring of this year, 2022, around March or April. That's also when our landlord slash roommate started to date this girl, and we really like her. She's awesome, but just 2 couples in a house is a lot. Like meal times and just trying to hang out and like have quality time together. I think we're starting to really feel the effects of it, and we always knew we were gonna move out. I think we just started to get comfortable, and yeah, I think it in some ways it was kind of good. It kind of pushed us to, you know, move on to the next step. And so we started really looking over the summer, and then we found this place that we're currently at, and it's super close by and we love it. The amenities are amazing. I'll do like a little house tour one day. We're still kind of putting some finishing touches, but I just have loved making this feel like our home, and just really being able to nest and decorate, and just like all of these Pinterest ideas that I've always had, like finally be able to bring them to life in our own way and find ways to kind of compromise and decorate and blend our creative styles. I think it's been so fun, so amazing. So yeah, so that was a long backstory to be able to say that we finally have our own place. We have our home. It's small, but it's ours. And sadly, during the pandemic, Miles's childhood dog passed away. His name was Maverick. He was a Shiba Inu, and he was the most awkward dog ever. We loved him. He's so awkward. Like, he would always just like side eye us like this, and just like, he wasn't a cuddler. He did things on his own terms, very like, I'll come to you when I'm ready. So whenever we tried to like hug him or even scratch him, like he was just very like, what are you doing? Like, I'm not into this. But he loved Miles. Like, whenever we would spend the night at his parents or something, Maverick would just come like trotting in the middle of the night and like sniff and look for Miles, because like he was familiar and he had grown up with Maverick, and so it was just like a safe space. And I would always wake up because I'm like such a light sleeper, and it would just be like a Maverick like in our faces. But then he would just like, you know, thump his way out. He was pretty heavy. He didn't get a lot of exercise, and so he just, you know, go back outside to his little area by the stairs and then go to sleep after that. So ever since Maverick passed, like, we have been talking about getting our own dog and just like starting our own little family, even if it's just a fur baby, a fur animal, fur pet. So I started looking because I actually, during Miles' birthday, during July, but we just weren't at a, I keep saying this, like, we weren't at a place. Like, we just know when we're ready, and we weren't ready. During his birthday in July, we were just traveling a ton. Like, we've gone to New York like 5 times this year because of Miles's work. We've just been, like, literally every weekend we've been doing something. And I feel like we finally have been home enough to be able to enjoy our space, have people over, have our own time. And it's really going to slow down this time of year, especially around Christmas and New Year's. And I am transitioning to really working from home a lot more, and I'll go into my job a lot more in another video. I'm a speech therapist, and I do a lot of telehealth now, but I also do in-office visits at like an outpatient center. So I'm just changing a lot of things for the next year, so I'll just be able to be home more and have time. Ooh, that scared me. Hey Google, stop. That's a little reminder that I have to get ready to get going in about like 10 minutes here. So gotta wrap this up, don't want to make this too long. So I was like, I am going to surprise Miles for Christmas with a puppy, and it's gonna be amazing. He's going to love it. One, he loves surprises, so check. Two, he has been wanting a dog since even, you know, before Maverick passed. Like when we got married, we had already talked about getting a dog, so check there. Honestly, I mean, this is gonna be our dog together, but I have just been dealing with a lot of things this year with like anxiety and different things, going to a therapist. So honestly, as an emotional support animal, like it would be really amazing to have one and to have someone be here with me when Miles is gone traveling. And that's something that he wants for me to, like a dog just as a companion, to be able to protect me and our little home. So yeah, so I was like, I really want to surprise him for Christmas. So I would say now at this point, when I'm making this video, maybe like a month ago, I started looking and I was like, I'm gonna surprise him. So I looked at all the shelters. I'm also like, I have allergies to, like severe allergies to cats. Like if any of my friends have them, I always need to pop like 1 or 2 allergy medications before I go over to their house. And it's like I'm like tearing up, my throat feels itchy, and I get these hives. With dogs, that also happens sometimes, and with certain breeds. But two of my roommates I used to live with, so this is who I lived with before I lived with Miles. They both had gotten puppies while I was living with them, and one was a golden retriever and one was an Aussie. And my allergies were like controllable, but I still had to take Zyrtec pretty often when I lived with them. So I knew that if we got a puppy, it had to be a hypoallergenic one, because I have like a lot of health issues and things like that. And even if like my allergies were to get better, like I don't know over the next like 10-15 years that we have this dog, that my allergies would be okay. And so I was just like, having a hypoallergenic dog is pretty important to me. So when I was looking at all the shelters, everything is online now after COVID. Like you don't just like show up, you have to make an appointment. A lot of them are listed online. There weren't any doodle mixes, no hypoallergenic dogs that I could find. I even looked at breeders that had like the moms or the dads as available for adoption, but those didn't work out either. And so it's not our first choice. Like I would rather not go, like I'd rather adopt for sure. And I do think that, you know, adopting both for animals and babies, just adoption in general, is super important. But where we're at right now, I just want to be completely honest, and you know, you can have your own opinion. That's that. So I started looking, literally had 30 websites up, was getting so overwhelmed, was reading about like F1, F2, F1B, all the health certifications, genetics, like waitlist. Like, dude, these websites have like your entire name, like first name, last name, in the order that you registered, like all just online for people to see. And like lists of like 30, 40 families like waiting for a puppy. It's crazy. And I just started getting like so overwhelmed, feeling like all this pressure to be able to get one by Christmas. And like some of these places were charging additional just to have a Christmas puppy. I just started feeling like so anxious and stressed out, and like on top of my already existing anxiety, I just like started just like bawling one night. And Miles was like, what's wrong? And I ended up just telling him like I was gonna get you a Christmas puppy, but I got so overwhelmed that I just couldn't. I just need help. It's like such a big commitment. Like, can you help me? So he was like, oh, that's okay, babe. Like, he was so understanding, like he always is. But then I was like, oh, I was like, did you want to be surprised? And he's like, I mean, kind of, like, that would have been really sweet, but like, honestly, it's fine. Like, that's like, you know, it's still just as special if we make the decision together, we pick one out together, that's fine. It helps me continue to look. We looked together, same kind of thing. So we just kind of tabled it. Honestly, we said like, maybe after my 30th birthday in March, like, we're thinking about doing some kind of trip. After that trip, like, we'll look into doing something then, or maybe during the summer closer to his birthday, we can do it as like a birthday thing. So that was that. Stopped looking at dogs. What happened after that? I guess what happened was I think it was an ad. I think I got an ad because I literally had been looking for dog stuff for so long that I just got, you know, retargeted for like a leash, a dog leash, or like a dog bed or something. And I started looking at dogs again. And this time what I did was I started looking at Instagram and seeing where people had tagged like their breeder or their the place that they had adopted from. And so I stumbled across this one, and just for privacy and because I'm going to be posting these in real time, I'm not gonna share all the info yet, but I found one that was going to be available a week before Christmas. So not even Christmas, but a week before Christmas. And like, at first I had wanted like a tricolor Bernedoodle. Oh yeah, Bernedoodle. Like, we're gonna get a Bernedoodle. And so they do offer those at this place, but I just literally fell in love with this red tuxedo one. It's not really, it's called a red tuxedo. It looks more brown, like kind of like a caramel color. And it's funny because I was just like looking at pictures of like dogs, and Miles had looked over from whatever he was doing, and he thought I was just looking at pictures of puppies, because we both do that sometimes, just like videos or photos, whatever. And he's like, oh my gosh, like, that one's beautiful. And it was the one that I got. And so that, I feel like that was just confirmation, because like, he looked over, he didn't really know what I was doing. He was just like that one caught his eye right away, and he was like, I love that one. So what I really liked about this place too is that you could text the place and ask them questions, ask for pictures, ask for additional information. So I did that right away, and she responded within like a couple of hours, gave me info, and I was like, hey, like, I just want to see how this one will grow up as, because some Bernedoodles end up looking more Bernese, and some look more like poodle, like their poodle side, which either one is fine. I just was curious to know like what the parents looked like, you know, what to expect as this one grows up. And also in terms of like, I'm not so particular as much about how it's gonna look, but more for like, I'm more concerned about maintenance of like, if it's gonna have really long shaggy hair, like, I have to be prepared for that, for its groomers and things like that. Whereas if it has shorter hair and I can kind of maintain it maybe more on my own, then that's another thing. And the weight, like, I was already looking at crates and supplies and things like that, and I was like, if it's gonna be like a huge dog, which Bernese mountain dogs are huge, so Bernedoodles can tend to run on the bigger side if they have more of their Bernese side, then I couldn't get some of these crates or supplies that really are meant for smaller dogs. And so yeah, I was texting the girl. Literally, we were spending Thanksgiving together with our family. So we had everyone over here for Thanksgiving, which is super fun. By everyone, I mean my family, my immediate family, and his immediate family. So we both just have one brother each. They're the same age, which is fun. So we had all of them over here, so the 8 of us. And I, like, whenever I would go to the bathroom or something, I would like sneak away and like text the girl about, and just ask questions. I was so excited. And so that night after everyone went home, I was like, hey, I'm gonna start doing some Black Friday shopping because, you know, it was gonna be midnight soon and Black Friday was gonna start. And so I did do some shopping. It wasn't a lie, but I also put down the deposit for the puppy that night. And then the next day we went over to my aunt's and the girl called me, and then I tried to call her back, and then she, like, we just kept playing phone tag all while I was at my aunt's house. And it was funny because like Miles kept trying to find me to like ask me stuff. It's like he was helping with the photo background that we were doing for my grandparents and things like that, and he kept being like, who are you talking to? Like, why are you in the phone? Why are you in the phone? Like, be present. I'm like, I want to be like, yes, but I just needed to answer this phone call and ask her some questions to be able to finalize everything for the deposit and just like move forward with the application, because yeah, like we just had to make sure that we were squared away. So then I was telling my brother, like, because he knew about the plans, I was like, if I get another phone call, like, I need you to distract him so I literally can just answer this call for like 5 minutes. Like, give me 5 minutes and then I'll be present the rest of the day. Like, I won't have my phone. So she ended up calling me. I like snuck away to my aunt's bedroom and answered the call, asked about all this stuff, like genetic stuff, and just like how they do things, and just kind of confirmed a lot of things on my application and moved forward. And so that was really cool. They were so helpful. Like, I mean, it was Thanksgiving weekend and they were still like, you know, this is going to be part of your future family, and so like we really want to help. And I really liked that. So okay, I really have got to go, so this just might be it for part 1. I was like, what am I even going to talk about? Like, this is probably just gonna be a 2-part series, but obviously I have a lot to say. Like, my camera keeps shutting off because it's like, are you still filming? Thank you for watching. Subscribe and follow along so that you can, you know, just join us in this journey, this surprise. I'm so excited. Bye guys.